Hello everyone, Erica Rock, Spiritual Catalyst here to share an energy forecast because we are in it. We are so in it. Yesterday rather, for me was so intense. I was in my bedroom and literally I was seeing into other dimensions, into other universes, seeing beings walk through my room and then disappear. And no, I did not take any magic mushrooms or acid or any other mind-altering substances. This was all happening like just another Friday in the Rock household. I've seen that during a healing meditation activation session. This beautiful magenta energy came and it created this like arc with two lines in it. And magenta and the two lines were gold, and it was almost like getting seared with the energy right here, and the energy went down into my front tooth, and it felt like I was getting electrocuted for a moment. It didn't last long. It was a little uncomfortable. It was super surprising, but yeah, and my teeth have been sensitive lately. It's part of Ascension symptoms, digestion, my third eye just like pulsating like this all the time. So if I close my eyes tend to flutter a lot. There's a lot of brain balancing going on. DNA activation is the name of the game right now. Holy cow. Yeah, we are really stepping into a place where we can receive all of our power, all of our light, our spiritual gifts, latent mastery codes that are finally coming online. And the interesting thing is so many of us have been waiting for this for a really long time. What we're in now, I saw happening in like 2008 and not really knowing what to do with that. And at the time I was not clear that what I was seeing was pretty far ahead in the future. But it's here and it's happening and it's a time to celebrate. It's intense. It's bringing up all sorts of stuff. I know it's inconvenient and uncomfortable, but we've got to shed this stuff to walk into the higher dimensional realms and to embody higher dimensional energy, to embody our higher selves, divine selves. And to be able to show up in our highest as much as possible. So we literally had, I took some notes about this. We had a M7.8 class solar flare that impacted our planet, then obviously impacted the collective and all of us. It nearly reached the intensity of an X-class flare, which is a really big deal. So although it didn't reach its very highest level, its force and all the energy that it's bringing to Mother Earth and to all of us is very, very significant. I mean, for hours and hours and hours, Mother Earth was being bombarded. Waves of this plasma, these plasma energies from the sun were coming in. My phone's about to fall over. Keeping it real around here. And right now, so the solar activity is kind of like at a medium to high level, okay? And it's got considerable magnetic charge and energy flow. So when we're having this, where does it affect us most in our body is our heart, because our heart is like the magnetic central station for our auric field, for what it is. We're energetically, silently saying to the universe and to all people, and that helps us to attract that which we vibrate at. So really helping the heart to heal, helping the heart to let go of all that's old narrative stories, patterns, relationships, things that you cannot drag with you to where you're going, because where you're going is unimaginable to your mind, and it's so amazing. We can't like drag all this baggage with us. It's so funny. We want change without the discomfort of having to change, right? We, I like, how often are we like, we want to lose that 10 pounds as we're eating chocolate ice cream or chocolate cake, or, you know, your favorite flavor of Ben and Jerry's. We want change without having to put down the bad habits that are creating extra weight. We want to be able to just have our addictions fall off without really committing to making the choice to not pick up that, you know, your favorite alcoholic beverage or any other mind-altering substances. It's like we want to keep picking it up, and we want, God, just take it from me, just take it from me. And that does happen. I've seen that happen. But, you know, likely we've got to make a change. We need to make a choice. And so when your mind tells you to reach for that thing, you've got to say no. No. No, I'm not going to run and take that medication to calm my anxiety. I'm going to sit with it, let it rip through me. It's not going to kill me. Might feel like it's going to, but it won't. And just for clarity, I'm not suggesting that people stop taking all their medicines or whatever. Do as you feel guided, but just know, as someone that used to be on tons of medication for anxiety and depression, which the depression I didn't even know I had because the anxiety was so bad, I wasn't even aware there was depression. And so, yeah, I took all those medicines, and I knew for me, I can only speak for myself. I don't want to project my journey onto anyone. I knew for me that taking these meds were not wasn't a sustainable plan, that I wanted to get to the root of what was causing all this discomfort and low vibe. That's always been my guiding light, is so many of us are here to clear up all our karma, all our patterns that don't serve, break those awful strongholds that we take on from our family. And we're here to show up and say, this ends with me. I'm done. I'm not passing this on to my children. And just know, when you do decide to heal and make different choices and realign your energy, it positively impacts our kids. And so for a lot of people, you know, they can't make the decision to let go of these habits, these addictions, these things that really aren't serving. But you know what? A lot of times our kids can be the catalyst for us to make positive changes, because we want to show them that we rock. We want to show them what it's like to be empowered, right? So I'm going on a little bit of a tangent. I need to have some tea. Hold on. But this is all related in the energy that we're receiving via the plasma solar light. So how did these energies interact with our energy fields? I got into this a little bit. Stirring up stagnant patterns. Patterns that maybe have been lying dormant, but it's still vibrating within your field. Thus, it's attracting, even if it's not an active pattern. So I'm going to go back to the addiction thing again. You know, we talk about what we know. And I had a long history with wanting to get off this planet and choosing to take substances with a high likelihood of mortality. But I'm here. And I healed all that stuff. Okay, so yes, so say we have someone that was in active addiction, whether drugs, alcohol, food, sex, gambling, shopping. Addictions have a lot of different faces, right? It's not just drinking and drugging, a lot of other things. And say they decide, I'm going to be done with this, but they're not really healing the underlying cause. So it's called white knuckling. They're white knuckling through their sobriety. And so the pattern of addiction is alive and well. It's dormant because you're not actively picking up, but it's there. It's there, and it's creating our reality. The energy is also stirring up old ways that we used to react, that we no longer do, but all of a sudden it's there. Something happens, that trigger occurs, and you're like, you want to go to that old way you used to react, and you're like, whoa, and you can choose it. Absolutely, it's available as a choice. But typically we're looking at it going, wow, I haven't attracted this kind of stuff in my life for 17 years. What's going on? Man, it's like an archaeological dig is going on within our being. And so all sorts of the little nooks and crannies, the closets, the skeletons, like all the stuff, anything dormant that's in your field that you haven't fully felt and flowed and released and healed and resolved and transmuted, it's coming up. It's coming up. So emotions, thoughts, old ways of thinking. So maybe back in the day you had massive stinking thinking, negative thinking, fearful thinking. Your mind always went to the worst case scenario, so dramatic. And maybe that has seemed to be resolved for a long time, but that stuff's coming up. And you're like, wow, I hope you're saying, wow, this is interesting. Because when we can come to all these things curiosity brings with it an element of openness and intrigue and lightness, okay? So try to remain curious. And all this stuff is coming up to be released once and for all, finally. And this can be a super intense process, uncomfortable, inconvenient. You're like, I gotta go to work today. I don't have time to deal with this that's arising, but we have to deal with it. And dealing with it doesn't have to be a big dramatic show. It can be very still, quiet, and subtle, and deal with it. Okay, so as this process is occurring, it's a profound opportunity for cleansing, for renewal, for growth, rebirth, and healing. Stepping into that higher or highest version of you. Moving out of places and spaces of suffering into thriving. Just breathe that in, because as I'm speaking these words, I'm sending an energy, and I call that energy grace, and it opens and expands consciousness. It radically elevates our vibration and frequency. So these patterns, this stuff, it's not there in the new frequency. So you're being bathed right now through the word. Each word is a key code. Every word has an energetic geometry blueprint to it. And I'm bringing that energy of grace via my open heart. So we're all getting something from this. I'm getting something from this as I'm talking about it. So as we're, the energies really penetrate the auric field, healing. So sometimes we get these big gaping open holes in our auric field, typically if we've experienced violence in any shape or form, verbal violence, physical violence, sexual violence, through any traumas, chaotic energy, it can really, we can kind of look like Swiss cheese. As these energies are coming, it's filling, you're releasing, and then it's filling all those places and spaces, actually strengthening your auric field. And when our auric field is more strengthened, we do not take in empathically other people's thoughts, feelings, energies, vibrations, and negativity. That's a win for us. It's so good. It's so good. And this is also an opportunity to, it's heightening and refining our intuition, our inner wisdom, our inner knowing, and it's bringing a deeper connection to our inner landscape, to all of our, inner children, inner teen, inner young adult, inner various versions of your adult that have been through things. It's helping us connect more deeply with all that we are, all versions of us, all aspects, all energies. And it's bringing a deeper understanding of who we are, what we're made of, what our morals are, our values. It's bringing an opportunity for us to see the truth about ourselves. And the universe as a whole. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling a deeper oneness and connection to the all that is. Big time. Especially the animals. Like, wow. Something I've realized about myself over the last few years, but I'm seeing it even more clearly now. My love for the animal kingdom, all animals, is so deep, and it's so rich, and it's so robust, and it's so real. And so what do you care about? Is it the waters? You get, like we just heard that potentially 10,000 gallons of sewage was released into the oceans in Malibu. I have feelings about that. I bet you have feelings about that. And these feelings, it's showing us what our priorities are, what's important to us. And the universe is showing us where we can place our focus. And no, I'm not anywhere near California, but what I can do, I'm a water sign, I'm a Scorpio, I'm a water sign, so I can connect into the liquid water that I am and send energy to the ocean in that area and begin to bring light into it, especially infrared light, because infrared light helps to kill bacteria. It helps to bring homeostasis to anything, to a cell in your body. But that's something I can do, because a lot of times we feel like, well, I'm just one person, what can I do? There's a lot you can do. And if you're not sure what to do, send me an email and I'll help you. I'll help you discover what you can do. So physical things that are happening to the body: headaches, migraines, feeling fatigue, just a listlessness, perhaps a feeling of, I don't want to do anything. I'm not inspired to do anything. That's an awesome place to be, because you're kind of in the void. It's super uncomfortable and we tend to really not like being here. But we're in the gap between the old and the new. So if you can just hang there and be patient and use that space, because it's a space of creation, to see, feel, allow, imagine what you want and start connecting with that. Some people are having anxiety. I had a thing of anxiety just like came in like a little tornado yesterday, and I just sat with it. Sat and became curious, and it moved really, really quickly, and it wasn't mine. We're having digestive issues, urinary issues, sensitivity in the head, the teeth, the brain. And if you're really energetically sensitive, you might experience like body temperature changes. That one is a big one for me. Dry mouth. I'm experiencing it right now. Sneezing, feeling itchy, like you want to crawl out of your skin. you know, the energetic work, it's going to continue, particularly the brain, the nervous system, and the heart. So how do you navigate this intense energetic territory? Ground, 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 and then ground some more. I have been drinking a lot of ceremonial cacao because number one, it's grounding, but it also is helpful for opening the heart. I've been grinding up rose petals. I have this big bag of dried rose petals, and I take it, put it in the coffee grinder and grind it, and I'm adding it to my smoothies, to my teas, to my baths. And the other thing that I found to be so grounding, so good for energetic clearing and healing and up leveling, while also being soothing, is mugwort. Mugwort. I got an awesome organic bag of mugwort, and I just take it and I put it in a tea ball and throw it in my baths. I'm drinking it. It is serving me super well, as does nettle leaf. Nettle leaf. That will help. That helps so much. Walk around outside barefoot. Barefoot. It's such an easy way to ground. I know it's winter, I'm in Colorado, so I get it, but I'm still doing it. Just even if it's like 2 minutes of just walking around barefoot. Ground. See, feel, allow, imagine roots coming from the bottom of your feet, going down into Mother Earth and connecting to the roots of the massive connection system with all the other trees. Another thing that I have found for grounding that has been really helpful is I connect with the energy of crystals, and I'll see, feel, allow, imagine various crystals growing from the soles of my feet going down into Mother Earth. I've been having so much fun with shungite. Shungite helps protect with all this 5D craziness. That's shungite, it's super grounding, it's protective. Obsidian, black tourmaline, rose quartz, citrine, amethyst, celestite, apophyllite. You pick and start grounding, because, okay, so why do we care? Why does this matter? We are transforming from carbon-based beings to crystalline-based beings. And so bringing in the energy and essence of various crystals, and by the way, you can invoke and bring in any energy from anything you've had connection with and that you've touched. So say you're really needing the energy of rose quartz and the energy of rose for your heart, and say you don't have either of those things. You invoke it. There's a level of you have to believe that you have the authority and the power to do this for it to be effective. So if you think you can, you can, and if you think you can't, you can't. But I'll tell you what, I've been invoking the energy and essence of herbs, flowers, plants, crystals my whole life. And it works. So working a lot with various crystals right now, especially our DNA is activating, we're moving to a crystalline being. Throwing those crystals in your bath water, your hot tub. Our hot tub is filled with so many crystals, it's hysterical. Taking silica drops, diamitate, totally watching this, diatomaceous earth. It's, and doing a teaspoon of that every day. That helps. That helps. Keep your crystal and mineral allies around, work with them. You can make crystalline water as long as the crystal's not toxic. We're not going to throw stibnite in a glass of water and put it out in the light of the sun. You shouldn't even touch stibnite, but most of the crystals are fine. And so you can make a crystalline water, get a pitcher, throw the crystals in, add your water, sit it out in the sun. Super easy, guys, super easy. And it will help you a lot. Because, you know, we're 70 to 80% water, 100% energy. So when we're drinking a live water that's been infused with various high vibrational crystals, we take that into ourselves. And the healing process, the clearing process, the alchemy, the transmutation and transformation is absurdly powerful. So use what you have. Use what you have. We need to be all in our self-care practices. Yoga, Tai Chi, sitting outside and breathing in the light of the sun, sitting outside and breathing in the light of the moon. Meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, as I said, Qigong is another good one. Sound healing. So if you have like a gong or crystal singing bowls or Tibetan singing bowls, play that. It helps to rewire the entire body, everything. Sound is some of the most important healing out there, as is breath. Take a deep breath with me. I like to breathe in, like I breathe it in and I hold the breath for like 3 to 5 seconds, release the breath for 3 to 5 seconds, and then pause for 3 to 5 seconds and do that. You can go from like panic attack, massive anxiety to neutral in under 5 minutes. A lot of times. So all of this is happening because it's preparing us for the energies that are coming in March. It's, you know, all a part of the divine plan. It's all a part of divine infinite perfection, but we're laying the groundwork for what's coming next month. Flow with it, go with it. Allow it, hold sacred loving space for yourself. Breathe, stay super grounded. Other foods that are super grounding, potatoes, beets, also good for the heart. Greens, anything that grows from the ground, grounding. And my all-time favorite, dark chocolate. Eat it up, people. But just trust and know that your inner light, your frequency is elevating each and every day. You're becoming more luminous, because that's actually where we're going as a species, becoming bioluminous. There's been times where I've seen the white golden light energy. It's peeking through my skin. I see that once in a while if I'm in a state of no mind and inner stillness and silence. You'll see a lot more if the brain, the mind is quiet. And if you are like, well, my mind is not quiet and it drives me crazy, I'm doing a new group called Meditation Mastery that's starting on the 17th. It's going to be 4 Mondays. And I'm going to teach people my method for silencing the mind in like a few minutes. It changed my life. So I'll put a link to that below if you're interested. But, you know, at the end of the day, just know that the universe, the all that is, the divine, the infinite, the one true creator, is working in your favor. All of this energy, all that is arising, it's all working in our favor for us to elevate, for us to ascend, and know that the very best is yet to come.